Hello, hello.
Good evening.
Hello, teacher.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, we are going to start with another session. We are in the session number 8. And yesterday we were talking about a vocabulary. We were creating a new vocabulary about geography. And now we are going to continue with that list of words that it's very necessary to know because it is talking about the earth and some things about geography, the earth surface and human activities, and some words related to weather, terrestrial landform, and people relationship with this. So yesterday we were writing some words. Let me show you the list that we were creating yesterday, and now we are going to continue with this list. Yesterday I said that we are going to write the list and then we are going to see the translate of these words into Spanish. We have here some words and we are going to continue. Then we are going to say the Spanish meaning of these words because some of them are very common, but some of them maybe you can say what is the meaning of the words. But now we are going to continue with the list. The last word that we have is coast. So we are going to, let's see, here we are. We are going to continue with the words. So then we have the next one. That is country. Then we have tropical. Then we have atlas, atmosphere, border, channel, canyon, compass. Then we have delta. Then we have environment, erosion, evaporate, rust, globe, habitat, hemisphere, highlands, hinterlands, horizon, iceberg, jungle, latitude, longitude, altitude, mainland, meridian, moisture, marsh, North Pole, South Pole, ocean, parallel, tail, Peninsula. Okay, we have this long list of some words that are related to this topic, that is geography. And now we are going to know what is the meaning of those words that we are going to use to talk about geography. So we are going to go to the first one that is very, very easy to understand because we are talking about that topic. And we have the number one, that is geography, that in Spanish, it means geografía. So it is not very complicated to know that geography is geografía. Then we have bay, in this case, bay in Spanish is bahía. So we are going to do it like this, bahía. Then we have beach, that in this case, we know that beach means playa. Then we have, so let me change something because I don't know, I am having some troubles with the internet connection, I guess. So then we have the other one that is cave, that in Spanish means cueva. Then we have creek. In this case, it means arroyo. Desert, that means desierto. Earth, that is tierra. In this case, it is not talking about the surface of the earth. It is meaning the planet, the name of the planet. No estamos hablando de la superficie, estamos hablando en este caso del planeta. Then we have forest, that means bosque. Then we have hill, that is colina. Island, island is isla. Lake, lago. Mountain, montaña. Ocean, that is océano. Then we have a peak, that is cima, en la cima de la montaña, the peak of the mountain. Then we have plains, that is known as llanura. Then we have pond, that is an estanque. Then we have river, that is río. Sea, que es el mar. This another one we can use to say arroyo again. We know that we have the different words that mean almost the same. Then we have a swamp, that is a pantano. Then we have valley, that means valle. Waterfall, that is a cascada. This is another word to refer to the forest, the woods. It's mean bosque again, but we have a different meanings of these words. Then we have Arctic, that is the article. State, that is un estado, but in this case it's un estado de un país, not the state of feeling something. This is a state of a country. Then we have the earthquake, que es un terremoto. Then we have temperature, that is temperatura. Then we have capital. In this case, it is not like the words that we use that we can say the capital letters. In this case, is la capital de un país, no la letra mayúscula. Then we have climate, que es el clima. Coast, that is la costa. Country, país. Tropical, this is very easy. Tropical, the clima. Atlas is el Atlas, that kind of books that has the name of all the countries, the capitals, and all of that information about the countries. Atmosphere, that is the atmosphere. Then we have the border, that is una frontera. Then we have channel, that is a canal. Then we have canyon, que es un cañón. Compass, que es una brújula. Then we have delta. Environment, que es el entorno. Then we have erosion, que es erosión. Then we have evaporate, que es evaporación. Then we have frost, que es something very cold. In this case is helada. Globe, in this case, the globe is the globo terráqueo. Then we have habitat, is in the same habitat. Hemisphere, que es el hemisferio. Then we have highlands, que son las tierras altas. Then we have the hinterlands, the tierras del interior. Then we have the horizon, que es el horizonte. Then we have the iceberg, that it doesn't have, in this case, a literal meaning, but we know that it's some part of something, a big part of ice that it is in the sea. So we know that it's in an iceberg, and we have the same name in Spanish. But it is not Spanish, but we use that a name to refer to this thing. Iceberg, jungle, jungla, o selva in this case. Latitude, que es latitud. Then we have longitude, que es la longitud. Then we have altitude, que es altitud. Then we have mainland. In this case, mainland is tierra firme. Tierra firme. Then we have a meridian, que es el meridiano. Then we have moisture. That in this case is like something humid. Húmedo. Then we have another word to refer to pantano, marsh. Then we have North Pole, that is Polo Norte. South Pole, Polo Sur. Then we have sun, que es el ozono. Then we have parallel, paralelo. Then we have this one that in Spanish is meseta. Then we have peninsula, que obviamente en español es península. Then we have polar, that in Spanish is polar. They have the same written system, but in the pronunciation is different. That makes the difference between the English and Spanish word of polar and polar. But it's the same form to write the word. Then we have population, that is población. Then we have a rainforest, that is the selva tropical. Then we have sea level, nivel del mar. And we're almost done. Then we have subtropical, que son subtropicales. Then we have tectonics, que son las placas tectónicas, in this case tectónica. Tectónica. Then we have territory, es el territorio. When now we have tidal waves. In this case, in Spanish is maremoto. Then we have the typhoon, que es un tifón. Then we have urban, que es urbano. Then we have a volcano, que es un volcán. Then we have weather, que es el clima. Zone, que es una zona. East, que es el este. West, que es el oeste. North, que es el norte. South, que es el sur. Then we have region, que en español es región. Then we have Asia, that is, those are the continents. And this is Asia in Spanish. The same. Europe, que es Europa. This is the same, Africa. America, I think the same, America. Antarctica is the same, it is Antarctica. And the last one, the equator, that is Ecuador. But in this case, it is not talking about the country. So this is the list of the words that we are going to use in this topic. There are a lot of words that are related to geography, and we have some other words more, but in this case, we're just going to use these words or this vocabulary, and we have a lot of words that we can use when we are talking about geography or topics related to that one. So we have a lot of words here. We have some words related to geography, but now after that list or vocabulary, we have an exercise that is that has to be with unscribbled words. I have some words for you, and I have the correct words at the top of the image. Then you are going to see the unscribbled words that we have in the image. Let me show you this image. This is the exercise. So we have here in this one, we have 18 words that you need to unscrabble because you have in at the top of the image the words that we are going to create with those letters that we have in the image. So I will give you a time and then I am going to ask for the words. When you are done, you can tell me I'm done, and you can see one of those words because we're going to need the help to find those words. So, vamos a descubrir cuáles son las palabras que están escondidas en ese ejercicio. Les voy a dar tiempo para que lean las palabras que tienen en la parte de arriba, descubran cuáles son las que están en orden in those 18 words, and then we are going to see, say the words that are in the list. Así que vamos a arreglar esas palabras y vamos a descubrir el orden en el que están escritas. Así que les voy a dar tiempo. Cuando estén listos, vamos a comenzar a decir las palabras. Okay, someone has some of the words that we are going to need to this exercise. So we are going to have some more time to end the exercise. Then I will take the words that someone wrote on the, oh, let's see. Okay. Some of you are writing the answers in the section, the comment section. Okay, you are writing the answers. So we are going to say the answers in a moment. Just continue writing the sentence or the words in the comment section. It's okay. Okay, I was reading the answer that you are giving on the comment section, and some of you have found that we have one word that is twice. We have 2 times the same word, and that's okay because in the list we have 2 words that is the same, so in different numbers. So it's I will give you the answers, and obviously you have done with the work on this exercise, so that's very, very good. Okay, someone is writing, so I will give time to and to write the answers. So then we are going to read all the words that are in this unscrabble exercise. Mhm. Okay, I think you are done with this exercise. So in the number 1, we have a glove. That's the word in the number 1. Let's see. If someone has glove, then we have planes. In the number 2, we have planes. In the number 3, we have bay. Then in the number 4, we have climate. Climate, number 4. Number 5, we have longitude. Number 6, we have Arctic. El Ártico, yes, we have here. Then in the number 7, we have Atlas. Number 8, we have atmosphere. Number 9, we have ocean. Number 10, we have coast. Number 11, we have polar. Number 12, we have tropical. Number 13, we have channel. Channel. 14, we have delta. 15, we have latitude. 16, we have polar again. 17, we have geography. And 18, we have desert. Very good. All of you have wrote the answers for this sentence. So that's very, very good. Thank you for your participation in the comment section for this exercise. This was very, very easy for you to understand. It was not really hard. So now that we are talking about the geography words, we have some words that I will give you before, and we're just going to take some examples of these words to read some sentences about it. We have, in the first one, we are going to use the word atmosphere. And it says that the atmosphere is the envelope of gases surrounding any celestial body. Then we have aurora, that is one word that we don't have in the list. And it says that is a bunch of light caused by charged solar particles. Then we have basin, that is another word that we don't have in this list, because I have to separate list this one that we were translating into Spanish, and we have another list that has some meaning and specification of some words. So in this case, there is basin, and that is a bowl-shaped vessel used for holding foods and liquids. Then we have bay, that this word we have in this list. The bay is an indentation of a short line smaller than a gulf. Then we have biosphere, that is another word that we don't have in this list. Is the region of the earth where living organisms exist. When we have capital, and in this case, it is the main city of a country. Then we have cavern, that is a large cave or a large chamber in a cave. We have a cliff, that is a step-high face of rock. So in this vocabulary, we were using some words related to the air, the surface, and some of the things of the word. So that's very simple, because we are creating like a vocabulary of words that we can use in the future when we are talking about something related to earth and all the elements that it contains. So esta parte era para crear un vocabulario de palabras nuevas. Maybe we know a lot of these words, but we are creating a vocabulary. So estamos creando ese vocabulario. Muchas de estas palabras son palabras comunes que lo más seguro es que ya no sepamos, que ya hayamos visto, leído, escuchado in some places. And we have another ones that are not very common. Now we are going to create that vocabulary that is very important in the English acquisition. Because if we don't have vocabulary, we are not going to use new words or a better way to communicate with people. So the creation of vocabulary is one of the most important things in English acquisition or any language acquisition and learning process, because we are creating something bigger in our minds to use when we are talking. Así que la creación de los vocabularios sirve para que nosotros mejoremos nuestro léxico, mejoremos la forma en la que hablamos, porque tenemos muchas cosas, ¿verdad?, que agregar a la hora de hablar y no nos quedamos solo con las palabras que ya conocíamos, sino con nuevas palabras. So, now we are going to have the preview of the next topic. That is the next one. We're going to use another of this. And we have the adjectives. This is the new topic, the adjectives. So in this case, I think that adjectives is another word, is another topic, I mean, that is very, very common and very, that is not something new that we have seen. And maybe we know that what are the adjectives and what are the uses of these adjectives. So we have a list that we will see before. And we know that the adjectives are words that we use to talk about someone and to give more information about a thing. Los adjetivos son estas palabras que nosotros utilizamos para dar más información de alguien, para hablar de una persona, una cosa, un animal, un edificio, etcétera, etcétera. We have some very common adjectives in English that we can use to talk about people, to talk about animals, to talk about places, to talk about things. And also we have this list that is divided in shape, color, height, numbers, and all of that. But we have some example of the adjectives, and we have, for example, adorable. Adorable, that's one of the adjective because we're saying that someone is adorable or an animal is adorable. And in Spanish, adorable is adorable. Then we have aggressive. Aggressive is another adjective because we're talking about the action of someone and that person is aggressive. Then bored, aburrido, bright, brillante. We have also costly, algo costoso. We have determined, determinado. We have dizzy, that is mareado, as another adjective that we can use. We have a lot of words that we can use to talk about someone. And all of that words that we can use to talk about the person is an adjective because we are giving more information, and that's the point of the adjectives, to give more information about someone and something. Then we have, in this case, a comparison between adjectives and adverbs because we are going to talk about the structures of both of them. So we have here adjectives and adverb. Comparative structures. We have the structures of structures, and we are going to see what are the comparison of them and the uses, of course. So it says that adjectives and adverbs can be used to make comparisons. They both are used to make comparisons when we are talking. So we are going to write this one thing that we know about the adjective and the adverbs. Cuando estamos utilizando los adjetivos y los adverbios, estamos comparando cosas. Then we have the comparative form is used to compare two people, ideas, or things. Then we have another form that is the superlative form. So we have here, let's see. We are going to read this information, then we are going to talk about what are the comparative with the adjectives and with the adverbs. So in this case, we have this topic because we are going to talk about the comparison of the adjectives and the adverbs. In this case, it says that adjective and adverbs can be used to make comparisons. The comparative form is used to compare two people's ideas or things. The superlative form with the word the is used to compare three or more things. Comparatives and superlatives are often used in writing to etch or boast language. So in this case, we're going to use this comparative part of the adjectives and the adverbs. And in this case, it says that we use these comparative things to make a comparison between two people, ideas, or things. So, en este caso vamos a hablar de las estructuras comparativas de los adjetivos y de los adverbios. En el caso de los adjetivos, tenemos que la forma comparativa, obviamente, como lo dice la palabra, está usado para comparar dos personas, ideas o cosas. El superlativo o la forma superlativa con la palabra the es usado para comparar tres cosas o más. En comparativos superlativos, it's often used in writing. In this case, it's more used in writing than in the spoken language. And we are going to talk about the rules for these comparatives and superlatives. So we are going to read some rules. We have general rules for comparatives and superlatives. So we are going to divide this and we are going to talk about the rules. So let's see. Tenemos reglas, siempre tenemos reglas. So general rules for comparative and superlative, and it says we have one syllable adjectives and we are going to create this, we're going to do it like this. Let's see, because it's easier to understand when we have something in order. So let's see. We are going to add this one. We have 3 and we have like this. So we have the first thing that we have the 1 syllable adjectives because we're going to divide this, and we are going to merge this one, and we are going to write here. Tenemos las 1 syllable adjectives. Tenemos adjetivos de una sola sílaba. 1 syllable adjectives. And we have the adjective of our verb. Of our verb, and then we have the comparative. So we have here 1 syllable words, short words. So we have a small, then we have fast, then we have large, then we have big. Then the comparative form of this one, and we need to add something else, but now we're going to see just like this. Then in the comparative form, we are going to change that word small, and we are going to add something at the end to make it comparative. So in this case, we're going to write a smaller, then faster, then larger, and bigger. So, let's see. En esa parte de los adjetivos o de los adverbios que estamos utilizando para hacer las comparaciones, normalmente nosotros tenemos nuestro adjetivo y nuestro adverbio escrito de la forma que lo vemos en la primera columna, in the adjective or adverb. Pero en el comparativo, como estamos comparando dos cosas, for example, we can create a sentence with the first one. We're going to do something like that, as an example. The first one, we are going to compare, let's see, 2 people. We are going to talk about kids. So we are going to say, Christian is smaller than Raúl. So in this example, we are comparing the 2 kids, and we are talking about how tall are them. In this case, we are saying that Christian is smaller than Raúl because it's small. Cuando utilizamos estos adjetivos o adverbios para la comparación, lo utilizamos de esa forma porque estamos comparando entre 2 personas. Estamos diciendo que Christian es más pequeño, that's the meaning in Spanish. Christian es más pequeño que Raúl, smaller than, es más pequeño que, es más rápido que, es más largo o grande que, es más grande. This case, big, and the other one is large, largo. So, in those cases that when we are comparing 2 things, we are going to use the words that we have here in the first part. That is smaller, faster, larger, and bigger. And in this case, we are talking about the 1 syllable adjectives that are these small words that we have in the example. Las 1 syllable adjectives son aquellas palabras cortas que decimos de una sola vez, de un solo golpe de voz. No las dividimos, no las podemos cortar porque por sí solas no tendrían sentido. So in this case, these 1 syllables are writing like this. Then we have 2 syllable adjectives. We have another example, 2 syllable adjectives. Two syllable adjectives. Then let's see the example for this 2 syllable adjective. We have useful. Useful, carefully. So for this two syllable adjectives, in this case, we are not just going to write the words in the first part. In this case, we are going to add another word that helps this word to create this comparison part. In this case, we are going to use more or less. And we are going to write the word that we are going to use. In this case, more or less useful. Then more or less carefully. And then more or less slowly. More or less slowly. So in this case, we are going to use like something that will help us to create this comparison part. En los adjetivos de dos sílabas, vamos a utilizar esa ayuda al principio de la oración, que es more or less, más o menos, más o menos. In that case, we're going to create that comparison with the words. So in this case, we can create an example. Let's see. We are going to do an example with useful, for example. We have this cell phone is more useful than my last one. So in this example, we are saying that this cell phone is more useful. Este teléfono tiene más utilidades, ¿verdad? Es mejor que mi teléfono anterior. Then we have a lot of things that we're going to see. Then we have some adjectives that end with Y. So let's see. In this case, we have two here that ends with Y. In this case, we are not adding them to the this rule. In this case, we are going just to separate them. In this case, we have two syllable adjectives ending in Y. Two syllable adjectives ending in Y. And we have some examples. Sleepy, like we are very, very sleepy right now, I guess. Then we have happy. Then we have those. We are going to use just two examples. Then in this case, for the comparison or comparative part, we have, in this case, we are not going to use more or less. We are going to use the endings. So sleepier and happier. In this case, I am going to add another E because it is not correct. So in this case, for the comparative part, we have sleepier and happier. In this case, we are not going to use the more or less. We are going to use the ER at the end of the sentence. In this case, we are going to change something in the words because we are changing the Y and we are adding the words AIR. So another example with those words. We have, in this case, my students are sleepier my new students, I will write. My students are sleepier than the last group. Mis estudiantes o mis nuevos estudiantes tienen más sueño, están con más sueño que el grupo anterior. And that's one of the examples that we're using. And in this case, we're going to have this topic like this. We are going to end this topic tomorrow because we have a lot of more information about this topic that we are going to develop. And then we are going to have another topic that we are going to develop tomorrow. So it's time to end the session, but remember that you have to work in the platform. Again, I am saying that because yesterday I was telling you that you have to work in the platform. Solo recordarles que tienen que trabajar en la plataforma. Ayer ya lo decía, lo vuelvo a repetir. Si tienen problemas con algunos ejercicios, pueden preguntar en los grupos. Porque ahí les van a estar ayudando, les vamos a estar ayudando con los ejercicios. Acuérdense que tienen que ponerse al día los que no están al día con los ejercicios, porque si no, no se les va a dar la certificación al final. And you need to have that certification at the end of the course. So, let's end the session here, and we are going to see each other tomorrow. So, have a good night, and see you tomorrow in the next session.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.